We are now on air. Time for a total takeover.
It's finally here. Welcome to a new episode.
It's about to go down.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm not in the normal Political Heat Remote Studios, aka the blue Nissan, the Blueberry, and so we're gonna make it happen and do what I can this morning. Early start, got a vendor coming into the JOB, so I got to be there and make sure everything gets done right, because that's how we do. But let's go ahead and get into it. A lot going on. Kind of been out of pocket, especially last week. Got a lot of different things going on. Hey man, was it a busy weekend for yours truly? Got a lot of stuff done around the house, yard work. Put up a cover fence on my fencing for these damn dogs next door to hopefully prevent them from just coming out and just, once they come out and see anybody in my backyard, and that includes my dogs, these dogs just incessantly bark. And it's just until I remove my dogs or myself or anyone who removes themselves from view is when they stop barking. Now, granted, this isn't the 10-foot, 15-foot fence I want to put up because homeboy ain't got the money. That would have been great, but this is at least a measure in place to hopefully curb some of this nonsense from these dogs. These dogs are just two pit bulls and a mixed terrier. And the two pit bulls are the main culprits. And you got one that's blind that just follows suit with the other two dogs. And it's just the people who own them, they don't do anything with these dogs. They don't participate with them. They don't train them in any way, shape, or form. And this is what you get. I mean, even when I didn't have the covering up and I would go up to the fence and try and greet these dogs, it's almost a scared bark. And I'm not sure exactly what that is, what happened, but like I said, I remember them as puppies, and they were cute puppies, but this family did nothing with them as far as training. So now, let me get off the personal soapbox and get back into what I want to discuss this morning. Let me just fix this camera just a shade. There we go. We're better. I think we're better. Like I said, we make do with what we have, and we go about our day. And it is Monday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sure is Monday, hitting it now. Got to get myself through the week somehow. I had a ball Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it's all over now because it sure is Monday. So I can't play the song. If you know the song, I'm not even going to name the artist. I might get hit for even naming the artist because I'll get hit on YouTube. I'm trying to be to the point where I want to keep my monetization on YouTube. So I'm just yours truly is going to do things just a hair different. But this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I'm an individual who has been a McDonald's connoisseur for, decades, as many of us have been. But as of late, ladies and gentlemen, and especially in the McDonald's in my area, can't speak for where you're at, but in my area, Lord have mercy, am I the only one that has issues with the McDonald's where their ice cream maker, especially the shake machine, is supposedly always broken? Now, a few years ago, I just got pissed. And it's been this way for a few years now. But I got pissed and I called corporate, emailed corporate, and they finally got back to me. And I guess it must have been some type of whistleblower. I don't know. But this individual was like, you know what, man, it ain't the machines themselves. It's the individuals working there who don't clean them correctly or don't clean them at all and expect these machines to just continually work until they break. And then they have to call a vendor in to properly clean it out. That's right. That is the situation going on with the McDonald's ice cream shake machines. And it's funny, I just looking at my text this morning. My sister-in-law sent me a text saying I need to watch CBS this morning. I think it was this past weekend. Yesterday, I believe, I guess. And they're talking about the ice cream machine, shake machine maker, and McDonald's and the issues they've been having. So I got to check that out and see exactly what they say and if it lines up to this AKA whistleblower telling me that these people, especially these young children who we want them to have $15 an hour, but yet they can't do their damn job. They can't get an order right 9 out of 10 times. So we're going to give them $17.50, an hour. Really? Anywho, let's go ahead and talk about, I'm going off on a couple of tangents starting the show and I apologize. But hey, maybe it's entertaining to some of you. But let's go ahead and talk about, hashtag Let's Go Brandon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where we're going to go from here, but I'm going to go hit you on a personal level, and I'm not going to get too much into the deets. I don't want my wife yelling at me. But with this inflation, I know it's not just me, but our family have had to adjust in a major way in regards to what we spend it on, budgeting, hitting some credit cards that we haven't used in years. That's right. This inflation is hitting us in ways that we did not expect. And the fact that it is now, we've had to make major adjustments. And the fact that former Vice President Sleepy Joe Biden stands up at a podium and spits into the microphone and says, well, there's not really much I can do about this inflation. Even though when it started hitting us last year, it was transitory. Remember that? It was not permanent. It was transitory. And things will get better soon. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, that hasn't been the case. And I am speaking not from a conspiratorial sense, but I am speaking for what him and his Democrat cronies, his Democrat party has spoke upon, continue to speak on, I got to cut that person off, in regards to what they were going to do when they got power. And guess what? Only for the sake of a few sane Senate Democrats like Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, who stood up to their own party and said, no, we are not going for this. We don't have the money to pay for this, so we are not going to sign off on this. So at least somebody in the Democrat Party stood up to them. But they did get some stuff passed through. Some $1 trillion bills got passed through. And I keep saying this to my wife. I keep saying it to anyone that wants to listen. What did America expect when the economy was shut down for 2 years? That, and with the Democrats being in power and being able to get $1 trillion bills passed through, knowing that inflation was around the corner, knowing what was about to happen, and they did it anyway, that is not a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. That is a strategy. That is not a conspiracy. That has been the Democrat talking point for years. And with the AOCs and the Democrat Party saying that we can just print money because we can just print it and nothing's going to come about from it, there'll be no repercussions from it. Oh, so, we have situations where we have a baby formula shortage. Now, granted, I can't blame COVID and the COVID relief packages and the $1 trillion packages that the Democrats passed on that. I do blame the situation on the Democrats continually wanting to print money. They want to do it even as I speak. They Build Back Better, you think it's gone? You think just because it was shot down, thankfully, you think it was the curtain call for Build Back Better? No, they're reinforcing, reinvigorating, repackaging Build Back Better, and we'll see it sometime this summer. And Lord knows that if it does get passed, the America that we've known for many decades will no longer exist. Right now, it's looking like the America that we no longer are familiar with. But man, if that gets passed, we're completely screwed. And with the events going on around the world, and with the cognitively delayed, incoherent, frontal temporal lobe capacitance being diminished in the brain of one former Vice President Sleepy Joe Biden. It's Monday morning. Haven't had my coffee yet. Excuse me. That's my main excuse when I, jumble up my words, especially when it's freaking 6:30 in the morning and I'm heading into work with no coffee in this system yet. That's what happens. No excuses, but that's the reality. But anywho, let me get back to the topic at hand. The Democrats and their forever push, for just printing money for the little pet projects that they think is going to help America. I mean, look at the $40 billion that went to the Ukraine and how much money didn't go to the Ukraine. Go look at the bill. I'm not going to break it down for you. Go look at the bill and look how much money of that $40 billion is not even going to the Ukraine. It's an embarrassment, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute embarrassment. And that was a perfect time of that camera shaking at that time. Because we sometimes got to shake our head like, what the hell's going on? Now, I know that some of these Democrats across the country, and I'm talking about citizenry, who voted these politicians of the Democrat Party into power, they weren't expecting a lot of what's going on. Because I've talked to some Democrats. This is not what they signed up for. But when you have the far left of their base taking over this party, holding this party hostage, and if you don't do this, we're going to unleash this, or we're going to continue to be on you because of this. This is what happens. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't understand. Come November, if you're a Democrat and you somehow feel the need or the gumption to vote Democrat, and as I keep saying, I will continue to state that I'm not saying that the GOP is the answer, but they are way better than what we got going on right now, and at least at the upper echelon, or the consistent Republicans that we know, will push for a better America and will push for policies that will push us to greatness. They won't push policies that make America last. They won't push policies that will make us look weak on the world stage. And here back home, they won't allow baby formula shortages. They will push for energy independence, so we're not depending on Russia, who's currently at war with the Ukraine, and a president who we don't know the actual health status of this man, but is threatening nuclear war. We're begging Venezuela. We're begging OPEC. We're begging, and I believe, I don't know if it's supposed to happen this week, next week, Joe Biden wants to meet with the Prince of Saudi Arabia to hopefully they will release more energy reserves. We were energy independent at the end of the Trump presidency. We were a net exporter of energy. But we went from that and, $2.50 less in gas. So I just passed the Sunoco this morning here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. $5 Don't know where it is in your neck of the woods. So the gas prices at the end of the president, and this was even in the midst of COVID. gas prices were $2.50 or less across the country. We have doubled it in a year and a half under the sleepy Joe Biden presidency, the former vice president. So, I'm going to ask you point blank, ladies and gentlemen, are you going to vote Democrats come November? Do you think we're in the right trajectory in regards to this country? If you think so, then you are stuck on stupid. I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to call you names. But if you think that if you continue to go down this route with these Democrats, this leftist numbnut moonbat ideology, and you think somehow, some way, that gas is going to go down and everything else that involves, that it encompasses energy in our country, and that means everything. I have spent out of the ass. That's right, out of the ass. Unfortunately, the cars in my household have had issues and have had to go to the shop and get repaired, and the prices are out of this world. I'm in my sister-in-law's car today because I have to get a battery for my Blueberry, the Nissan Versa Political Heat Remote Studios. And I'm not even going to even repeat the absorbent, outlandish price for a battery right now for a 2014 Nissan Versa. Energy affects everything that we do. And when you have this inflation, where it's at right now, and with the supply and demand issues that we have in regards to our energy, remember, we were energy independent under the Orange Bad Man. Remember that. We're an exporter of energy under Orange Bad Man. Remember that. So this is where we've landed. We didn't land on inflation. Inflation landed on us. Sparked by trillion-dollar spending bills being passed by the leftist numbnut moonbat Democrat Party. And they want to pass more trillion-dollar bills. They want to pass more trillion-dollar bills. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Can you fathom and understand what they're trying to do? If you don't understand and don't get it, I can't get that mode off. I don't know why. But anywho, this is where we're at. So if you want to vote Democrat come November and inflation is in the double digits and gas is in the double digits, don't look at me because I've been yelling and screaming about what the leftist numbnut Democrat Party is all about and what happens when they're in control and what happens when we give them the power of the purse. Don't even come near me with your whining and your complaining and your moaning and your crying. I don't want to hear it. You allowed this to happen. You put these people in power. Don't come screaming and yelling at me. It's not my fault. I didn't vote these numbnut moonbats in. I didn't do it. And never will. Again, not saying that the Republican Party is the answer and has all the answers. But they are sure enough better than what we have right now. And if you want to continue down this path, that is on you. And when you see the repercussions, when you don't reap any benefits from all of these promises that the Democrat Party has been promising for decades, and none of it has come to fruition, none of it, and you're going to still pull the lever for Democrats. What is the definition of insanity, ladies and gentlemen, and being stuck on stupid? What is the definition of insanity? Look it up. That is what you're doing when you vote for the Democrat Party. That is what you get when you allow these Democrat politicians the ability to shape and mold policy, to shape and mold our economy, to shape and mold our present and our future. Because what we got going on, even if when hopefully that a red wave is coming in November. Even when that happens, we're going to be able to stop some of this nonsense we've been happening. But these particular things are in place. They are in motion. And until we are able to actually gain the White House back and have the Senate and the House, that's when we can actually revert some of this craziness that's going on. Well, it is Manic Monday. I thank you for listening in and tuning in. And, hopefully, God willing, he will get me in the space and hemisphere so I can handle and do my due diligence and go about my business and work my ass off to provide for my family and my loved ones. And I hope he will do the same for you as well. May God continue to bless you and yours. May he keep you and your family safe. Until next time, God bless. Peace.